Good morning, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break with Dr. Michele Alignay. It's another morning of real conversations, realizations, and resolutions regarding relationships, family life, faith, and well-being. So join me this morning as we discuss about family togetherness, a very relevant topic to what we have at the moment. We are all home. Most of us are all home. Most of us are uh, you know, what they call, we are confronted with the realities of our family life. So I would like us to reflect on some important areas of family life that is about family togetherness. So this morning, it's going to be the first half of our discussion regarding family togetherness. So join me, friends. Join me for this conversation that we're going to have. And I invite you, please say hi wherever you're coming from. Please say hi. I would like, of course, to engage with you. I would like, of course, to hear about you. Are you together with your family? Are you with them for the past ilang months na ba tayong nandito sa bahay? For the past 5 months, 6 months? So I would like you to share with me, where are you right now? Are you with family? And I would like us to check, does it mean that pag ba magkakasama, does it follow that if we are together, we are close? Do you think that's possible? Is it the reality that if we are together most of the time, does it mean we are close? Does it mean that if everybody is together in the family, does it mean that everybody happy? Ayan. Those are the things that we would like to reflect on. And I would like to also discuss about, if we are too much together, how does it affect each family member? But if each of us are apart, then how does it affect us? So join me and tell me about your family. Tell me kung magkakasama ba kayo ngayon for the past 5 months. So as I said, these are real conversations for us to be able to realize, for us to be able to reflect, and for us to be able to create concrete resolutions regarding our family life. Kasi in all reality, hindi naman talaga madaling magpamilya, di ba? Mga kaibigan, hindi naman madali na maging isang miyembro ng pamilya at hindi rin madali na magpalaki ng isang pamilya. So, yan yung mga bagay that I would like us to reflect about. Tingnan natin yung realities natin lahat. So, friends, medyo kailangan natin ng sumisipang kape. Kailangan natin ng matigas na sikmura as I discuss with you some areas that I hope that you will learn from and that you will able to grow from. So yung knowledge na natutunan nyo sa coffee break, sana hindi lang sa utak. Sana nasa sa buhay natin, because we are all trying to be work in progress. We are all trying to thrive in our lives and in our family life. As I mentioned, let's start with our topic. So I would like to ask you, 5 months into this lockdown situation, 5 months into this quarantine situation, did something change in your family dynamics? Did something change in how you relate with each other in the family? Yan, maganda nating marinig yan. Maganda na, meron bang nagbago? Meron bang mga bagay na na-realize tayo? So kung kaya niyong i-share in the comment section, please share with me, what do you think is that one thing that you realize with your family in the midst of family togetherness for the past 5 months? What is it that you realized about your family? About the family that you are with, or the family, your extended family, meaning yung mas malaki natin na pamilya? You know what I mean? The yung ating pamilyang pinanggalingan, meaning the parents, our brothers and sisters. So I would like us to reflect about that. So I would like you also to let's check into your family togetherness. So for those family members that you are with already right now, yung mga pamilyang kasama nyo ngayon sa bahay, does it mean that being together, does it really make you close? Yan. Alam ko yung iba sa atin, like Yeng, our friend Yeng, was always here since day one. Thank you, Yeng. I know that you're living apart from your family, but I know that you're very close to your sisters. You're very close to them. And it's also a reflection on how we are in the family, in our family togetherness. That does it mean ba na pag magkakasama, masaya? Does it mean ba, okay, does it mean that it's being happy? Does it mean that happy together? Being together, does it equate to being happy? And then another area to reflect on is that does it mean that if we are together, we are stronger together? That's another area. And the third one that I would like you to check, does it mean that if your family is together, you stay together? Yan. So, um, you see a lot of people posting in their social media about family togetherness, they're bonding with the family. Of course, it's mealtime with the family. Well, wala tayong mga pinopost na bakasyon ngayon, but just the mere fact of posting a family picture, does it mean that everything it's, a-okay, everything, it's at the peak of relationships, maayos kayong lahat? Because perfection in family life, it's really, as I always say, it's impossible. It's impossible because there's something that's always happening. We're always challenged with issues. We're always challenged with differences. At laging may nangyayari na concern. Kung hindi man problema, pero may nangyayaring concern. So friends, I would like you to check that. Being together in the family, for the past months, we are mostly together with the family. What I would like you to check is that being together, does it actually show that uh, even if you're close, all issues are non-existent? Minsan in a forum, in a family forum that I was conducting, I asked the participants, sabi ko, who among you would like to, ano yung pangarap niyo sa pamilya? May nagsabi na walang problema, walang issue. Yeah, it's a good goal. But if you got to think of it, if we would long for a family na walang problema at walang issue, wala ring point of growth. So it's really good to check where are we in our togetherness. It's in The thing is, many families right now, I've heard a lot of this, that their issues in the family are confronted. Being together too much confronted a lot of issues in the family. But it's not an issue of the lockdown. It's not the issue of the pandemic. I have to tell you something. Many of the issues in the family are already there. They are already the dynamics in the pre-pandemic time. But since we are mostly at home, we cannot go out for work, we cannot go out for school, we cannot go out for self-care or to have a vacation, to have a break from everybody, we are confronted with all these issues. And the space in the house become too cramped that we are forced to deal with those issues. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Are you getting me? So, kahit sabihin natin na okay kaming lahat, close kaming lahat, may lumalabas na issue. But it's not about the issue that's matter. As I always say, as I always share with you, my favorite quote from Virginia Satir, problems are not the problems, coping is the problem. And I would tweak that. Family issues are not the real issue. They are the signs of deeper, in-depth dynamics issue that is there already. So that's what I would like you to look into. So togetherness, what does togetherness means? Actually, in family systems, we call togetherness the family bonding or the emotional connection. We say lang that family bonding, it's like magkakasama. But it's just not merely the physical togetherness. It's actually that emotional togetherness, emotional bond that even though that you are apart, somebody said here that you are in LDR, you're long distance from your family, that you are away from, you're in different countries, you are in different parts of the of the Philippines, but you are still emotionally connected. And ang napansin ko, alam nyo minsan, yung closeness ng mga magkakalayo, mas maganda. Kasi mas may deliberate intent to take care of the relationship. Kaya yung ganun ba na kailangan isipin natin na hindi porke magkakasama tayo sa bahay, kailangan natin tagalugin. It does not follow, porke magkakasama tayo sa bahay, it does not mean that we are close. It does not mean we are okay. Because many times the togetherness, it's relative. It's subjective. We define that kind of togetherness. We may be, sabi nga, di ba, when we were in grade school, many students are physically present but mentally absent. Same with family life. We are physically together but we are emotionally apart. And where do you want to be? Ako, I would like to be in a space where maybe we are physically distant but we are emotionally connected. Kasi yun yung mas importante. Yun yung alam mo na pag may kailangan ako sa pamilya ko, kaya akong magsabi. Pag ako may nararamdaman hindi maganda, kaya kong magkwento. Do you have that feeling with your family? Na kahit malayo sila, isang tawag lang kikwento ko sa kanila. Kasi alam nyo, meron akong mga naririnig. Kahit kasama nila sa bahay, kapit bahay na nila, hirap na hirap silang magkwento. Kala ko close kami, hindi pala. Ito yung realizations. I thought we're okay, but we're just okay. We're not very close. Who among you have been confronted in your relationships about your level of closeness? It may be your family, it may be your significant other, it may be friends. But you know, it's not about the physical distance, it's about the emotional togetherness. So, what's the contrast between togetherness? In the family life, you know, there is such thing. We operate on some models. I'm not going to teach, I'm not going to lecture, but I would like you to reflect on models in the family. In a family life, one of the David Olson, he's a theorist in family life. His model is that the family togetherness, he called it cohesion, you know, cohesiveness. So that's closeness. And in contrast, he explained that the contrast to togetherness is independence. And those are two words that I would like you to reflect about. Togetherness and independence. Can you say that? Together and independent. Together and independent. In summary, me, as a family psychologist, I call it the we for togetherness and the I. Can you type there in the comment section the we and the I? We always would like to have the goal in family, the goal of us individuals is we are building a family. Is there's a healthy balance between the we and the I. Tuloy-tuloy yan. Each day, each crisis, each decision, each confrontation, each communication, it's always the balance of the we and the I. It's very important in maintaining family life. While we are starting with this pandemic situation, I know many of you, parang mga nanay na you know, they gathered everyone in the family. Dito tayong lahat. And that is gathering the way. But until you realize that even though you are at home, each person in the family would like to grow on their own, would like to have their sense of personal space, would like to have their sense of independence. And that is exactly the I. So while we all belong to a family, in that family alone, di ba, iba-iba ang personalidad. Iba-iba yung character. Iba-iba. Kahit nga ako na bilang nanay, kahit na yung dalawang anak ko, sa amin siya nanggaling, pinanganak ko sila, but they're totally different. And that's why it's very important for us to look into a family that it is built not of the same people, but of individual people that sums up a family. Diba? Parang the sum is more than what do you call that, in Gestalt, that the sum is more than the means of its part, diba? So, bawat parte, they comprise a family. What happens? So, as I said, there should be healthy balance between the I and the we. So, friends, what happens if there is an extreme of this? Extreme togetherness, meaning extreme we, laging kami, or extreme I, laging ako. So, togetherness, too much togetherness in the family, that brings about what we call enmeshed. Can you say that with me? Enmeshed. What is enmeshment? Ayan, very technical yan. Pero naririnig niyo yan. What is enmeshment? I'll tell you about that. Ang other extreme, pag sobrang magkakadikit, sama-sama yung pamilya, lahat ng desisyon ng isa, kung saan pupunta yung isa, ito, ang direksyon ng isa, hindi makagalaw kung wala yung iba. That is becoming too much enmeshment. So, kumbaga, kung sa binabalansin natin yan, it's tilting the balance because there's always the we. But if you look at it, the other end of that, The other end of that, let's like, take this let's take this ball pen again. It's pencil. So pag too much togetherness, sama-sama sila. Ayan. Kung if it's a scale, disbalance yan. But if there's separateness or too much separateness, disbalance pa rin. Because there's too much kanya-kanya, walang pakialamanan. Ito yung favorite term ko na sa bahay, puro sila border. Diba, in a boarding house, you don't necessarily have to 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 have relationships with people there in the house. Kanya-kanya kayong buhay, kanya-kayong diskarte. But is that a family? No. So here, there's too much togetherness and too much separateness. So what you want to do is that you want to stay in the middle. Sometimes there are crisis situations that it will falter a bit, but always it's a deliberate action to stay in the middle, to be able to balance the we and the I. Are you with me? Can you say that again? Healthy balance between the we and the I. So let's go to too much closeness. That's what I will share with you. What is too much closeness and what is too much separateness for this episode. And the next episode, we'll discuss how can we move on to continuously create that healthy balance between the family. Okay, yan. As I said, striking a balance is truly difficult. Yes, mahirap yan. So let me just, I have to contextualize things with you. You know, the tendency of a lot of Filipino families, napansin ko, is really, they're so enmeshed. Let's take the analogy of mashed potato, okay? Mashed potato. What do you mean by mashed potato? Because enmeshment, let's, di ba, ang mashed potato, when you say mashed potato, friends, how do you do a mashed potato? I don't have that props with me right now. I'd rather have coffee. Okay. So what is that trade of a mashed potato? How do you cook mashed potato? So mga mahilig magluto, how do you create mashed potato aside from the instant that you just get the potato powder out of the box, put milk. So but how do you really make mashed potato? Right? When we cook mashed potato, we boil it. We boil it until it's very, very soft. And once we've boiled it until it's very, very soft, we combine it with milk, we combine it with butter, we combine it with all the ingredients until there's gravy on it, right? But if you look at the components of a mashed potato, when we start eating it, I remember the mashed potato that I always feed my son when he was a baby. When you look at the components of a mashed potato, you don't see anymore the butter, you don't see anymore the milk, and it's already mishmash from the word itself, mashed. Nakalagay na with the potatoes, the main ingredient. What's in chemistry, you call it homogeneous. Isa lang. Hindi tayo pwedeng pumunta sa restaurant and tell the waiter, oh, can I order mashed potato without milk? Because I'm going away from dairy without milk and butter. No, you cannot do that because it's already mashed potato. And a mashed potato, hindi yan kompleto without the milk and the butter. Might as well bibigyan kanila ng patatas na ikaw na lang ang mag-mash. But then, in the family, enmeshment, it's like a mashed potato. It's homogeneous. You see the mashed potato in itself, but you cannot see anymore the individual characteristic of the ingredients. The potato, the milk, the butter, the salt, na-mix na dyan lahat. Hindi mo kita, hindi mo pwedeng alisin. That is why in the family, extreme closeness, OA levels. You know what OA is, friends? Yung mga ka-generation ko, alam ko ano yung OA. What is OA? OA levels closeness, OC level closeness, being too dependent on each other. And then they become too together to the point that they become too reactive. When one is upset, pag nagalit yung isa sa isang tao, galit na lahat. Pag yung isa having an emotional turmoil, affected lahat. I am not saying that it's bad to be affected, but this one, it's becoming, actually sometimes it's a toxicity because the person that here is that there's a lot of consensus. Parang kailangan hindi ka pwedeng makapag-desisyon. As adults, I'm not saying about kids because that's different. But sometimes being too hovering parents, it can make our family too enmeshed. If you look at that, uh, we're too hovering with each other. There's too much consensus. Yung hindi makapag-desisyon yung isa, nang hindi oo yung isa. Kumbaga, dapat lahat together. Dapat lahat ito yung common. Kailangan lahat feeling okay. So there's a lot of consensus. But then the thing is that too much concern, too concerned to the point of not allowing each one to grow individually. There's no room anymore for personal space. Hindi na makahinga. You breathe the same air, you have the same at hindi nyo na naaamoy kung yung isa merong foul smell. Why? Because you're too much with each other. It becomes a norm for everyone. That's the problem. That's toxicity in the family. That's enmeshment. Dahil sa sobrang together kayo, hindi nyo na alam kung ano yung amoy nyo sa amoy ng isa't isa. Hindi nyo na alam kung ano yung unhealthy sa'yo at unhealthy sa kanya because there's no longer objectivity on how you look at the family. Why? Because you're too enmeshed. You're the mashed potato. No more individuality. No more sense of independence. You cannot decide without consulting everyone. I'm not saying that it's bad. But if you are already an adult and you need to consult everybody in the family, may asawa ka na. Kaya ito po yung nagiging problema ng mga may asawa na. They cannot cut the umbilical cord. They cannot move out from their family of origin to stand and build their own family because there's too much togetherness, too concerned to the point of not allowing each one to grow. Parents, I would warn you, if you are still hovering your child who's um, uh, teenager na gusto nyo pang tinitingnan everyday yung kanilang online classes, you are not trusting them. Ibang usapan yung talagang nagkaroon kayo ng concern. But you are not trusting them to be individuate. I have to say that. Individuate. We might have a problem there. Because the problem there is that you are not allowing your child to grow. That is the reason why we cannot hover to our kids. While hovering and guiding our kids is important, we cannot do it too much because it will not let them grow. We will not allow them to fly. Too much closeness. Let me just, today is Mother Mary's birthday. And I would like to share with you, what if Mary over what if Mary and Jesus hovered too much with each other? What if Mary and Jesus masyado nilang prinotektahan yung isa't isa? What if Mother Mary did not allow Jesus to go to Jerusalem? Nazareth and Jerusalem are two far away place. Magkalayo sila, friends. So what if hindi inalaw, sabi ni Mary, huwag kang pumunta sa Jerusalem, Jesus, kasi masasaktan ka doon. Hindi ka tatanggapin ng mga Jews. They would not accept you. The Pharisees will just persecute you. Try to think about it. What if also Joseph did not teach Jesus to do carpentry? Paano kung hindi niya tinuruan si Jesus na lumaki to be independent? What if they did not allow Jesus to individuate? Can Mary, matutulog kaya si Mama Mary sa mga gabi that Jesus would spend time with his friends, maybe in the Sea of Galilee, tapos pupunta sila doon sa mountain, in the Mount of Beatitudes. Hindi naman nakita natin sa Bible, walang story about Mary. Hindi niya hinabol si Jesus to remind him, oh, kumain ka. Wala tayong ganun nakitang story. Because that is the reason why in the formation years of the son, of the family, they're together. But they try to create, they try to create a healthy balance. Why? Kasi kung enmesh si Mary Jesus, hindi na fulfill yung purpose si Jesus. And that is to go out there and save us. That's something that I reflected upon when I went to Mass this morning because today is the birthday of the Blessed Mother. And the extreme of the too much togetherness is too much separateness. In Tagalog, kanya-kanyang buhay. KKB, kanya-kanyang baon. You're familiar with these kinds of family. Yung parang, so uuwi ka. So ano sabihin ng nanay mo at tatay mo, uuwi ka ng gabi, okay lang sa kanila. O kaya kakain, kanya-kanyang kain. O kaya minsan magkakasama kayo sa bahay. You don't check on each other na kanya-kanya kayong luto, kanya-kanyang order ng food, magkakapatid, pero hindi sila talaga nag-uusap. So, too much in this one is called disengagement. Disengage. Kung kanina ang enmeshment ay mashed potato, ito ay yung mga hard-boiled potatoes. The coat is still there. Yung raw, yung nandun pa rin yung balat, yung matigas, or minsan pag tinusok mo, may lambot naman sa loob, pero wala tayong magawa. Kung kanina it's mashed potato, now it's just the plain hard-boiled potato. And there's no closeness with anyone. It's not sticking on anyone. Little emotional closeness, kanya-kanyang buhay, kanya-kanyang diskarte. Most members have individual activities. It's important for families to have individual activities, but we balance it with family activities. Ito talaga, wala. They don't pray together, maybe. Or nagpe-pray lang sila. Parang hindi sila nag-uusap. Limited interest as a group. Yung parang, anong gagawin with your family? I don't know. Wala. They don't have family time together. They don't spend time as a family. Kung ano na lang yung maisip, maybe they just gather together during holidays, but not able to turn to each other for support, and that is the critical area there. The family that is very disengaged, they cannot turn to each other for support. Friends, sana wala tayo doon. I think Jesus hindi siya disengaged. Kasi he has a very good relationship with his mother. But he's not also, they're not enmeshed. They're in the middle. Friends, yun yung sinasabi ko dito. Disengagement, it's yung totally, may pamilya ka pero wala kayong pakialam sa isa't isa. Is it healthy? No, because you are a family. If you are in either enmeshment, you know that that's a trickier thing than, kasi yung disengage, alam mo, you're aware na you're not close. And because of that, you have this, sometimes you just have that cut off. And then you distance yourself to your family and say that, okay, I don't want to associate with them because there's a lot of toxicity. Mas aware yung mga taong disengage. Pero alam nyo, pag nandun sa enmesh, and tayo minsan, in the process of trying to be close, we tend to move into being too enmeshed. And that is what I would like to warn us. Because the balance is in the middle. The balance is that creating that separateness, but keeping the connection. Separateness that there are times, many times in our family, we do our thing. Right now, I'm doing my thing. My husband is working. My two kids are schooling. We do our thing. But there are times we go together. We do things together. There are times that you do your activity, I'll do my interest, but there are times we be together. That is the healthy balance. I know who am I. In this family, I know my identity. In this family, I know my husband's identity and my kids' identity. But in the family, we know who we are as a family. A fun-loving family. That is the family. I would like you to reflect. Where are you? Are you in this two enmeshed family? Or are you into disengaged family? Where you are, be honest. Be honest, friends, where you are. What is our goal here? As I said, for those of you who came in just now, the goal in the family is to create that balance in between the two. This is a lot of we, and this is the I. You have to create that healthy balance in the middle. Sometimes it will do like this. If crisis happens, you want to be together, or sometimes kanya-kanya muna tayo. But always, always, we strive for the healthier balance to create the connection and the separateness, the healthy separateness and the connection. What's the engagement? It's the mashed potato. If the disengagement, it's the raw, the hard potato. What is the middle? The middle for me, that's the baked potato. Okay? Why is it that the healthy balance between family, it's the baked potato? Because baked potato, we cook it the same way with the mashed potato. But the thing here is that we don't peel off the we don't peel off the balat, the skin of the potato. Maybe we just slice it, and then we put a lot of cheese and butter. Nagugutom ako, hindi pa ako nag-breakfast, coffee pa lang. And then we put salt, and we put pepper, and sometimes we put bacon. But There's kung kanina in mashed potato, there is what we call homogeneous characteristic between the ingredients. This one, we call it heterogeneous, meaning I can still see the identity of the potato. I can still taste the butter, but I can opt not to put the butter. But the cheese, I can request. Di ba, there's when we were in their teens, there's that restaurant that we like to go to for baked potato, and then there's different kinds of cooking potato also. Either you just want it with salt and butter, just want it plain baked potato, or you just want it with cheese, or you want it with bacon. Yung iba nga, there's a lot of toppings pa there. So we can opt to remove the topping, and the identity of all the ingredients, it's intact. Nakikita. Hindi nakamix. Friends, that's the kind of family we want. Family togetherness, it's not being two together to the point of each member is no longer growing. Because this is going to be very dysfunctional in the long run, especially if you are parents raising young kids. Lalo na if you are parents who have adult kids already. Hindi makalipad. Remember our topic on failure to launch? That's the reason why. Because there's less less space, there's less individuality because there's too much family. But let's strive for a healthy family, which is the healthy baked potato family, wherein there is togetherness, but we respect the individuality of each family member. The family is together, but we love each other. We have an emotional bond that even though we are apart sometimes, even though we are distance apart, but emotionally, we're very connected. We allow each other to grow, but we allow the family to grow in the process. That is the kind of family we want. Hindi siya madali, friends. I'm telling you. It's a challenge, especially in our culture where everything, it's everything. We are too much together. But I will tell you, if you have done this and you're raising kids, you can let them fly later on in life. And I would like to end the same way with Mary. That's our ideal. So this morning, family togetherness, let's be like Mary. Let's be like Mary. And you know what? I think Saint Anne and Saint Joachim has allowed Mary to grow. Why? Kasi kung hindi siya pinayagan mag-asawa at 14, hindi mabubuo yung mission. And that is for Jesus to come to the world. Hindi ba? So, we can take it from them. We can take it from their example that we allow them to grow at a certain time. Why? Because there's a mission to fulfill for our kids, for our family member. A mission a little in the house. But their mission, naniniwala ako that the mission of family members is not to complete us. It's not to fulfill us, but to complement our lives. Kung ang mission ni Mary, I think, ni Mother Mary, is for Jesus to complete her. I don't know what happened to her when she was at the foot of the cross and Jesus died. I don't know. Baka nawala na rin siya. But remember, she lived further and she was brought up to heaven. Because the mission here is that there is a mission. That's why we're raising them, we're loving them, but there's a mission in the family. We build them here, and then there's a mission outside. Friends, when we are together with our family, make the most out of it so that in the long run, they become the best version of who they are. And who is our model? Miriam of Nazareth. I'm a Mary. I am from Miriam, and as we say, I would end that. Let us pray that in our family we can be together the same with Mary. And we say in Miriam, Miriam of Nazareth, teach us your ways and lead us closer to Jesus. And that is something that we can pray about. Teach us your ways so that we can be more like Jesus. And teach us your ways so we can do the mission the same way that you did with yourself and Jesus. Thank you. Thank you for joining me in Coffee Break. Join me again next session because this topic on family togetherness will be continued. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you for joining me at Coffee Break with Dr. Michele Alignay.